Hi everyone. Many of you had asked me how I am using my Bible journal that I had set up at the beginning of this year. And now that I've used it for 3 months, I can do a flip through. I actually have something I can show you on how I ended up using the setup that I did earlier this year. So I'll post that link. I think it ends up going up here with the letter I on how I initially set it up in January at the beginning of this year. And then this video will just be a quick flip through of January through March, and then how I'm starting to set up for April and how I've been doing it each month. So the cover again is from Hobonichi. It's the Marshmallow. It's like a pinkish lilac color on the outside with a gray beige look on the inside. These are just taken from another planner that I had, what I had in their pockets. And then in these big pockets here, I usually keep my vinyl stickers, but honestly, I've used most of them. I only have a few more to add, and you'll see that in here. So I kind of wanted to keep it real so that you can see how you can keep moving forward in a journal when you're trying to keep it on an actual time basis within a year. So this is my Bible journal for the year of 2020. Now, how this year worked out is we were starting the book of Genesis, and also that landed on January the 1st. So I did my tabs all the way through August because honestly, I think from when I measured, that might be the maximum number of months I'm going to be able to fit in this one journal. This journal is the Stalogy 365. So that means there's 365 pages in here. It's a page for each day of the entire year if you were doing just like a regular journal. But I've decided to use this as my weekly meeting prep type of journal. So I end up using sometimes more than 7 pages a week. And then across the top, I did the Bible books that I think I might be able to fit in here. So I have Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. So I added all of these with my Dymo label machine, and again, that's all in that setup video. All right, so let's get right to it. So the first thing I did is I made this vellum sheet on my laser printer. So I printed it in black, and then I ran it with this foil through my Heidi Swapp Mink machine. And so it's really key that if you want to be able to foil like this with a laser, you need to use laser ink, not inkjet ink. It adheres to the toner. So that's what I did for this piece of vellum. Now, since we were starting a brand new book, I did put that here, and I did my who, what, when, where, why in the very beginning. Now you'll see the particular ink that I did use through January does show through on the other side a little bit, but honestly, that doesn't matter to me. I just love the calendar setup, and I do love this color of gray. So I went ahead and stuck with it. It didn't bother me. Some people don't like a lot of bleed through, so just so you know, that is the Memento gray flannel. So on this thinner paper, it will show through, but it doesn't bug me like it might bug others. Now the stamp that I used here is one that I found on Amazon. I don't see it on my desk at this moment, so I can't really show it, but I will post that in my Amazon links. What I like about that particular calendar setup is I can do a Monday start with it, because the workbook that we use for the meetings is a Monday through Sunday. So what's really nice with that calendar is I could change it up to actually be to match with a Monday start. Then I just took my dot markers and I highlighted just with a dot each day that was going to be covered for that week. So then I just took some illustrations out of a different magazine and added my notes. Now this vinyl, I will be honest, I did make this file, but it is such a pain to weed out all the little insides of the P and the G, and these little bitty lines, these connecting lines, are very hard to deal with. So I've decided to make an easier file from April forward. So when I make that one available, I'll make sure to share it with you. But I'm not going to be using this font anymore because this was a lot of work to get these stickers on the page. But what I did each week was just found the highlighted scriptures that I wanted to write about and wrote about those. Sunday meetings I do here. Every now and then I'll print off an illustration from the magazine and stick it in there. I worked on the timeline. This has a few errors. Don't copy it immediately. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress, but working on timelines, just really trying to see when people's lifetimes overlapped and things like that. So this is a work in progress. Going to be redoing this particular page. Then I found these amazing little stickers from Jet Pens. So I'll try to find those and link those. Again, those links will be found on my YouTube video instead of Instagram because it's easier for me to tag those kind of items there. What I love about journaling this way is it's very visual. So let me show you a comparison. I can like draw little pictures or just kind of keep my own interest by having more colors and interest through my pages. In years past, here's one that I kept for about 4 years. This was a journal that I had gotten at Barnes & Noble years ago. And like over here, I kept track of what Bible book I was doing when, and it's just a whole bunch of notes. But I really have to read through it in order to find what I was really writing about, or it's all handwritten, just script. But this way is very visual, and so I can flip to it and really understand what I was doing at that moment a lot easier. So I really do love this format. As I have time, I will go back and add washi. But to be honest, usually when I'm doing this the week of, I'm just putting in my stickers and putting in my notes. The additions of these little pieces of washi are usually done at the end of the month when I am completely finished. So don't feel like you have to have everything finished all at the same time or make it feel like it's a lot of work to do right then and there. That's not how I operate. I'll show you my phases after I've done the flip through. So here's just some more notes from a Sunday meeting. And then here we go again into a regular meeting. This is usually the general look on my meeting night, is that it just has everything written down and maybe a few highlights. Then later I go back in and add my decorations and stickers based upon what the theme was about. Now I have a couple of other meetings that I can't share, so I've clipped those off as I'm doing my flip through here. Then there's also a monthly broadcast that we watch, so I put those neat notes in here. And again, I just write them as I go, and after I'm done, I might highlight a few main points, or I might write a few keywords that stood out to me during that. I really loved this quote since my daughters helped me at a volunteer desk. Shalom did repair work along with his daughters. So my girls get to work side by side with me about twice a week with the volunteer work that we do. They work at the same office with me, so that's been a real treat this year. So I wanted to make sure to put this in the notebook as a highlight as well. So I'm using these vinyl quotes as a divider between each month. So then it's February, and I just used a stamp, which was this one here for the month of February. This one is from Darkroom Door. They gave this one to me a long time ago. I'll try to find the link, and if they still sell it, I'll put that on here as well. And then I just had a script font that I stamped in there, and then I did the February broadcast along with some questions. So I left this page blank because this is one that I'm wanting to go back to and fill in the answers. Again, an example of just how a typical weeknight meeting. I've moved into February. I changed my calendar type for this month, still highlighting each day of the week. And then this I added at the very end of the month. Just threw in some washi tape just to decorate the pages. Each week I do add these little gems. They're so fast and easy. There's another color scheme of these gems that I'm going to pick up from Jet Pens and add in here. Some weeks I don't have a lot of time to do extra research or write a lot. So I write what I may want to do more writing on later, and I just leave it and I move forward, because I can always come back to these pages when I want to do more research later. But the main key is I do need to get through the meeting material that week. So what I love about this journal is it keeps me accountable. It makes sure that I am entering and reading every single week and putting those items in here. So now we go into March. Again, I had to bind off another different meeting that I had there. And then we go into the March broadcast. So here I changed the stamp that I'm using. This is one that I found on, I think it's called yesstyle.com. It's a Korean-based, I think it's Korean-based app, and they have some really cute wooden stamps. This is an example of one of them. It's not the same one that I used here, but it's the same concept. It's a wooden stamp with the days of the month on it. This one has the months, April through January through December. It has 1 through 31, and then it has this blank spot in the middle where you can add the year. So with the yellow dots, let me bring this a little closer. I just highlighted the month of March, and then I highlighted the days of the week, the actual dates that was going to be covered on that on these particular pages. So same thing, just taking my meeting notes, and then I keep going as the month goes. I just move my little dots along. This week I obviously had 0 time, so I need to come back to this one, but I moved my stamp a little further down just to add a little bit of variety. Really love this. This is a gift from my brother. He went to an international convention in Argentina and he brought this back, so I just thought that was really pretty. Put that there. I have the stamp for the week and room to write as I have time. Again, items for the meeting. Now this particular month I happened to go to an assembly, and so all my assembly notes I have written in here as well. And so I left one page blank because I'm going to print out the cover for the program on vellum, and I'm going to insert that here. So I'll show that in a follow-up video later on, because now we're getting into what really my month normally looks like. So you'll see, like this was this week's. It's just very plain. I have the stamp with the date, and I just write my notes. So those notes and then this. And I go back and add all those stickers later. So this helps me keep accountable, as in I know I'm doing the reading and I know I'm doing the research. But then as the month goes on, I just set it up to leave enough room for that week's notes. And then now I'm moving into April. So this is how the beginning of my month looks. I separate out the pages that I know I'm going to need on average per week, and the only thing I do in advance is the month stamp. This one I did with my Memento ink in red and in gray, and then I highlighted the actual days with yellow highlighter and green dots. So that is how my month of April is set up. And then as I work into the month, I will actually add the stickers, add the Bible chapters and verses, and all of that as I go week to week. So this helps me stay accountable for the month, because I know I'm not wanting a whole bunch of blank pages in my journal. And this is a journal that I want to be personally accountable for, to make sure that I keep up with it all year. So this is one of those few journals that I know I want to keep up with every month. So I'll just do a quick flip now. So that's where it leaves us. So now I am going into the month of April. And so my next catch-up video on this will be April through June. So I'll see you back in this journal at the end of June.